All right. This has been fun. Got a little serious there for a minute, huh? Wow.
Yeah,
We took that to a place. I'm interested to see how everyone reacts to it. And everyone, I mean, mostly, Are
we talking about the bowling?
Robert.
What's that? The bowling thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about bowling.
We're cutting that whole last segment.
Yeah, that last in post. We'll do that.
It's going to be a hard transition. Milwaukee.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Dapper Degens. My name is Josh Albrecht.
I'm Martin Shreen.
Ross.
I'm Will.
And I'm not Martin.
That's true. Everything we all said are factual information. All right, we got a lot to talk about on today's episode, but as always, we're going to start with our resolutions, including the most recent updates and changes to those. And let's start with Martin. Martin, yours was to continue to travel, and you did so, right?
I did, yes.
You were in
Went to
Seattle.
Seattle. Yeah.
Which we will hear more about your adventures with not Martin as he introduced himself. Ross, yours was to lose weight. How's that going, buddy?
It's going good. I want to say I went to Disney and I worked some of it off, and then I gained some of it back. So
I need to start losing weight the way that Ross loses weight. Just, I feel like I lost some, and then maybe I gained some back. I don't know. Yeah, it's just that way. Will, yours was to continue meeting new people. Did you meet anybody?
2 big thumbs up there.
All right. Looking forward to hearing those stories. Dan, yours was to continue to be alive, and it sure looks like you are.
Barely.
Okay.
Well.
Barely still counts. You're here. Yeah. We appreciate it. Mine was to spend less on the Roosevelt's website, which I almost did perfectly well since our last episode. There was one drop that got me, and we'll talk about that right now. So since our last episode, there were 3 drops. The Thursday drop last week was Pluto. Did anyone get any of the Pluto merch?
Nope.
Yeah, right? Big offer across the board for us, including Disney stuff. And it reminded me a lot of the Donald Duck drop of like, I get it, it's like a birthday, right? An anniversary. But then they go nutso. It was like, here's 4 hats, 17 shirts, 3 tuxes, and a partridge in a pear tree. So, wow. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff for Pluto. And then I was like, I'm not gonna get any of it. So then I thought, well, this is great. I'm good through this. And then unannounced, not drop zone, might as well have been a drop zone. Friday at noon or 1 p.m. Eastern was noon Eastern was a Newfound Glory drop. Was not announced. No one knew it was coming. Very limited amounts of the shirt. We knew that the shirt existed, right? We had seen pictures of it. Did anyone get the shirt? Okay, I did as well. But I got it in a 4X because 3X, like always, was the first size to sell out.
Same here.
So,
but shout out to a buddy of mine, Mr. Banana Hands himself, for helping me exchange it out for my size.
Ooh,
nice.
Yeah, I don't have friends, so I'm still rocking a 4X. If anyone wants to change or exchange it, that would be great. Or if you have a 3X, I'll try to figure something out. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the 4X. Could tailor it,
shorts,
see how it looks. Otherwise, I thought, yeah, maybe I'll make it into shorts and then wear it with mantle, like the OG mantle.
I will say it was
really
fun because
great.
Martin and I were walking into the con and going through our security checkpoint, and all of a sudden the phone goes bloop, and we're like, oh.
Yeah.
It's like, go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was completely unannounced, unlike drop zones that you at least get 18 hours ahead of time. But
yeah, I was a little surprised with that. Now, the other thing is that based on the popularity of the original mantle, I would be surprised if there wasn't more of these at some point. Yeah. Like maybe this was just like a small run that they had available, that they wanted to get out for the announcement of the tour. And they're going to do a bigger release later. That's what I'm hoping
Yeah.
for, selfishly. But I would be surprised if this was it. And
Oh,
not
I could totally go for the full, bow tie, shorts, socks, hat, all the stuff they did for the other one too.
They
yeah.
make some pretty cool concert merch.
What's that?
I said that'd make for some pretty cool
Oh,
concert merch.
Yeah.
Now, I do
would.
know DTH was wearing that 5 months and 2 days ago.
Wow, that's a very specific
That's
date.
very-
That's
Ross.
insanely creepily specific.
Because he was wearing it when he sung "Happy Birthday" to me, November 10th.
Oh,
Still, the fact that you know that your birthday was 5 months and 2 days ago is terrifying to me.
Well, we are on a computer, and I have the ability to look over at the calendar. So,
So do I. I would
Right.
still need a decent amount of time to figure that out. This just in, Ross really loves his birthday. And then besides that one, then we had this Tuesday's drop, which was the Tom and Jerry drop. Anyone get anything from Tom and Jerry today?
nope.
I haven't yet.
Oh. Hey,
Oh, you were eyeing that.
I
robot.
do like the designs.
The
But I
the
didn't
designs
pick
look
anything.
great.
This was a breath of relief. Pass. Safe for me. I was like, okay, the newfound glory got you, but overall we're doing okay. We're doing okay with the resolution. It was a pass for today. Wasn't a need. Thought that I agree with you. I thought some of the designs were okay, but wasn't a need. And so I was able to get through it. Also, I don't have a single roper. Not one.
That seems
You're
like a missed
missing out.
opportunity, Mr. Midwest.
I just don't know that it's me.
I didn't
They
think
look
it was until I put one on,
Same.
and they're really comfortable.
Yeah,
See-
they're super comfortable and they're a lot of
Wait.
really fun designs.
Do they fit differently than Kunu's?
They feel different just because that stitching right on the
Mhm.
shoulder area. It's kind of a cool shoulder patty kind of feel to it.
The layering of like where it meets is lower.
Okay,
Match
so
the
like
roper.
90s business suit ish.
Shoulder pads, yeah.
Yeah.
Not like shoulder pads, just move whatever. It's fine. They're
Okay.
they're fun. They're either for you or they're not. And I think I have like 7 or 8 at this point.
do you think we're at a hoodie season yet?
I don't know.
You
The sun has been shining here, and it's just made everything
Gorgeous
better.
today.
I think it's supposed to be like 2 more weeks of like some frigid air. So I don't know.
Well, that depends on who you ask. I'm okay with the weather it is, but yeah, thanks for bringing up the weather, Ross. Yeah. No, I think that people can wear. Look, the hoodies are thin enough that you could wear them.
Yeah.
For at least 7-8 months out of the year, unless you live in like Arizona, then you probably don't even own any. Speaking of not Arizona, hard transition. Let's talk about Seattle and 2 of our Degens who were at ECCCCCCC.
You see.
And that would be Martin and not Martin, also known as Dan. You guys are both there. How'd it go? I don't care which one of you starts, but you guys have fun?
Dan, take it away.
It was fun. Yeah. You got to like stairs. Lots of stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hills. No, it was cool. It's a small enough con that you can do the shirt stuff. You really have a lot more time to socialize with people, but there's so much to just walk out of the convention center and hit the touristy stuff as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, the weather was beautiful. Being on the water was amazing. Great food. But yeah, it was tiring, but
Yeah.
really, really cool places.
Nice.
Martin?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about Dan, but at least me because we arrived on Wednesday afternoon, went out to dinner, and then convention started first thing Thursday morning. And we were calling it a night around like 10, 11 o'clock each night. But by Saturday, I was just so exhausted that I had to physically take a break halfway through the day and take a 4-hour nap before going to the meetup that evening. Otherwise,
I
just wasn't
don't
gonna survive.
consider anything over 3 hours a nap. You sleep
Okay,
for 4
well.
hours, you just went to bed.
Yeah,
Well,
it was sleepy in Seattle, not sleepless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
I want to talk about one of the big things that was announced that came out with this wristband system, which is for the shirts. So for anyone watching going, Josh, we don't understand half the things you say. Well, I get that. But also, so when you go to these cons, there's a lot of people that wait and try to find ways to get shirts. They're exclusive, they're limited runs. And sometimes it doesn't always seem fair to everyone, the process. And so on some of the popular designs that were going to be out this weekend at ECCCC, there was a wristband system, right, that had been introduced at D23. You guys had seen it, but this is different.
Yeah, it was a slightly different iteration. So at San Diego Comic-Con last year and D23 last year, they actually used printed cards that had a return time on it, right? They were one-use cards. They were either stamped with a specific design so they couldn't be reused for the second day in case you had, gotten multiples of them, or they actually had the day written on it, so you couldn't use it, for a different day. They used just, generic color wristbands this year, and they gave out, about 30 for each time slot, right? So like you had 30 for 10:30, you had 30 for 11, you had 30 for 11:30, so on until like noon or 1 o'clock. And then it basically opened up to general sales after that.
And how do you guys think that it went? What are your feelings on the process?
I think it went great. It spaced stuff out, but also with the way that the bands were handed out, it kind of slowed things down to where it wasn't just a bum rush, people grabbing cards and running off. It was like more fair and kind of first in, first out in line to get it, but it also stopped the swarming of the booths, so the booth moved faster as it was cycling through the morning. And it was interesting because inventory lasted later into the day, but it was just kind of because it eased the flow.
Yeah.
Sure. Do you guys think that this is going to become a normal procedure at every con going forward?
I hope so. I really do.
Unless it's a super small convention, yeah, I could see them reusing this going forward.
Seattle's a pretty small convention, no?
It is, but it is historically where they drop really limited runs, really hot designs for the last couple of years.
Sure.
I mean, you still had a decent. I mean, they had given out all the wristbands, so on like Saturday, you still had like either 120 or 150 people that had lined up at the booth just during the exclusive period. That were interested in shirts. Now, not all of them were wearing a Roosevelt's, right? So it could have maybe been their first shirt, or they were, a friend or family member of an insider, helping someone else do a pickup. But they still had quite the crowd at the booth. So it was nice. I'm sure that, the fire marshal loved not having a super long line there, right?
Yeah. I'm
Except for that poor booth across the hall that we kept blocking.
Yeah. But we'll see. Boys on the bottom, you guys have any thoughts on this? I know you weren't there, but any thoughts on the idea of the wristband system? You for it? You against it?
I'm for it if it stops people from exploiting other ways to buy multiples of shirts before the con even opens.
Sure.
I think it's a good. It's like a good thing. I don't know. I don't think it's a perfect system. Is what I'm trying to say. It's not a perfect system. Like D23, it was a mad rush. I think I have a video of it actually. Of like,
the one where me and a couple other people are getting smashed across into the wall. While you're running ahead.
I mean, it was.
Laughing like an evil cartoon villain.
At that point, like they didn't know. I'm sure it's not like this every time they've done it, but at D23, I don't even know how they knew who they gave them to, because it was just like,
yeah.
Like, I mean, there
needs to be order.
chaos.
Yeah.
It was chaos.
Yeah.
So
All right.
I almost feel like they should go through the actual physical line outside before it
Nope.
opens or something.
Nope.
Maybe I don't know.
Well,
I
see,
think-
that's the thing. At Emerald City, there wasn't. I mean, they had delineations between VIP guests and general or 4-day guests, but like there
I
weren't
guess-
queues like you see at other conventions. It was like everyone just huddles in this group, and whether you got there 2 hours before or 5 minutes before show open, like
It's just
you
door
stood-
opens and
Right. I guess
And
that's
it's
the
just
best
mad
way
dash.
because then you just have like the people that are there in the very front are probably could be resellers, and then they just are like, oh hey, yeah, I'll take one of those. I'll
Yeah,
just
but
come
they
and
would
get one."
have to know about it to begin with.
I don't
And then
know.
they'd also have to be available to come back and leave their own booth.
At
so
their
that's the
specific
thing
time.
where the bands really help, because people who were either using exhibitor badges or were like exhibitors and have like their staff and everything, where beforehand they could have all just gone before, be the first however many people in line. The fact that they have to come return, but in order to return at the time slot,
Right.
that means
yeah.
they have to leave their booth abandoned, and they're not making the money and doing the things
Right.
that they need to be there. So that's a big trade-off. And
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with it, but I do think it's interesting, and I'm more than anything interested to see if it becomes this is the new standard, or if they just bust it out from time to time based on what they think the likelihood is of people making mad dashes and doing things with the shirt selections for that con. While all this was going on and I was sitting at home, we also had some people in Disney. That would be the Bottom Boys. Yeah, I hope that name sticks.
they're the bottoms.
Ross
I hate
and
you.
Will, you guys were at the at Walt Disney World with our friend Steve Glass and a few other people that were there, having the time of your lives. It looked like you guys had a blast. Tell us a little bit about your time in Disney.
Go ahead, Ross. Take it away.
I don't know. Like there was, what did we not do? That like to be
Sleep. I
completely-
didn't sleep.
Did we? I don't. Yeah,
How
I
long
don't
I
were
know.
you guys
definitely
there
didn't.
for?
I got in Saturday morning. I can't even remember. It was just like all blur. Okay, no, yeah, so that's
You
right.
don't
I
remember
didn't.
when you got there.
Yeah, I got
That's
because we went up to Chicago Friday night, Fogo de Chao. Then we woke up early and flew out from O'Hare and got into town at like 8:30 in the morning, I think.
Okay.
So, and then it's kind of a blur. There was some Malort and
Beverly.
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 There's a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of parks, all Disney, Flower and
Even
Garden,
Springs.
Disney Springs, Flower and Garden.
Our new
Yeah.
favorite Tux.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Orange
the-
Bird Ducks.
the Orange
Yeah,
Bird,
it is.
non-Roosevelt's Disney store, Orange Bird
We-
matching shirt and shorts.
It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
So I want to talk about the and we got a lot of stuff to get through, but I want to talk quickly about the 4 parks in one day, because I know that you guys have done this a few times now on trips, and I
This
want to
was-
know, is it thoughts, going around the horn, is it worth it? Is it worth it to try to hit all 4 parks in one day? Dan, let's start with you.
Well, first, who's done it?
I've
I
done
don't
it.
think I've. I
I
don't think
think I
I've
did it
done
once.
Dude, you did it with us at MegaCon.
Did I? I know we hit
Yes.
Animal. Okay. All right.
And the con.
Animal, Hollywood, Epcot, the convention, Magic Kingdom.
Oh, okay. All right. You're right. I did do it. Yeah.
So this, you know what? Now I'm going to start, because this goes more to my point. I just feel like you don't get a badge, you don't get a cookie for doing it, okay? And it just seems like you're doing it to do it. You're not enjoying enough time in the parks. It's just like, let's just do it to do it.
I beg to differ.
Okay.
So this past Sunday, Ross and I did it with Steve. We did all 4 parks. We started at 7 o'clock in the morning at Animal Kingdom because Animal Kingdom's early entry was at 7 a.m.
Uh-huh.
Between 7 a.m. and 7:45, when we left Animal Kingdom, we got photos in front of the tree while it was still dark out, and we rode Expedition Everest twice.
Yeah, in
We
the dark.
In the dark,
In
which
the
is
dark.
great.
Which is like the best way to ride Everest,
We-
anyways.
Would have ridden Dinosaur had it come up, but Dinosaur never was active.
So you
Until
guys
maybe
were
10 a.m.
out of the park in 45 minutes.
We
Easy.
were already at Hollywood Studios 25 minutes
this
before
is what
Hollywood
I'm saying.
Studios early entry started.
That's what I'm sa- I mean, that's nuts. That's
But
nuts.
it's so like Animal Kingdom's a slow park anyway.
That's true.
If you start your day at Animal Kingdom, there's maybe 3 or 4 things to do, depending on what your interests are there.
Yeah.
We went to Hollywood, early entry, rode Tower of Terror twice, Rock and Roller Coaster never came up. We did Star Tours, I think, too.
What? What?
Right?
Was I there?
No, or maybe I did Star Tours the day before.
That's
You
something.
I did
Star
Star
Tours
Tours
the
the day before.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say we didn't.
No, we walked through, got photos in front of Tower, got photos back in Toy Story Land, and then we left there and went to Magic Kingdom. Got photos in front of the castle at Magic Kingdom. Did Tiana's. Did Space Mountain.
To be honest. Oh,
I mean,
Uh-huh.
I get it. You went and you did stuff at each park. I'm just saying,
But it's like if
if you wanted, you could get through all four parks by 11 a.m. But you're only gonna, it's just how much time are you
it's-
actually spending in each
it's-
park?
that's harder to do. Mind you, Sunday, Steve and I both had to leave the parks by 5 o'clock at night to head to the airport because we were both flying home Sunday night.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were in the parks from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. We did something at every park. We got photos at every park. We got to start the day early enough. And, based on what was done, I mean, I think this time it was worth it.
we
It
were
was just fun to do
also closing down a hotel lobby bar that we weren't staying at. So
Yeah, that was Saturday night.
6 a.m. came
Really quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were a fan.
Really quick.
I
5:30
did
a.m. came
I did
really
not
quick.
set an alarm.
That was a fun conversation Sunday morning.
Yeah,
I bet.
rough.
Look,
You boys, do you upper boys have thoughts on doing all 4 parks in one day?
I thought it was fun.
Yeah,
Adding the con in at MegaCon was a
That
little
was
too
rough.
much, but not having that, I think 4 parks would be fun. Especially if you do like a scavenger hunt or like a theme to what you're, trying to do. Like I know what is it? Somebody did like space, time, and something like that, and it was like certain rides and certain foods and
So Landon and I did 6 parks in one day, and I know Martin was part of that. So we did, because we had the Orlando Informer meetup, and Landon and I got in, and we did 1 ride, like 1 drink, 1 food item in a park, and then we did that all 4 Disney parks, and then we did Universal, both parks at Universal that night, doing Orlando Informer meetup. It was that was a long day. That was a crazy long day.
I mean, I get it. The whole thought of going hard and doing it. I was just curious. Your guys' thoughts on.
And then New Year's, we did almost every park. And I know somebody's gonna get me on Gatorland, but I did every park over New Year's. We did Busch Gardens, SeaWorld, and Universal and Disney. I like literally did almost every park in Central Florida, and
but not Gatorland.
not Gatorland. No,
you don't know what you're missing.
and we didn't do any of the water parks. So challenge accepted.
That's always keeping that out for next time.
Yeah.
All right, hard pivot. It's time for our maybe favorite segment. I don't know if that's true. It's called Ask the Degens, where you guys ask us a question and then we give you our best guess, add an answer. And this week is a video question.
Hey, you wacky degenerates. Here's a question for each of you. If you were to have become a content creator at like 16 or 17, what would you want to be known for and have gone viral for to become like a super mega star on the YouTubes? What would it be? Huh? All right, now enjoy my fridge. Stay cozy.
So that was from our friend Jake Holland, who has had quite an awesome he has a lot of great content that he puts out. And if you don't follow him at Pizza Beer Party, you definitely should on all of the socials. But so his question about if we were content creators and we did something when we were younger and went viral, what would we want that to be? I love that question. I think it's a great question. Who wants to start? We'll go around the horn, but who has their answer wants to start?
I'll take it.
Dan.
At that age, there were two things I was doing: learning how to hack and going to concerts. And so I think I was trying to do like a zine at the time, and would love to do content, going to discover punk bands, new places, travel, take content and do discovery stuff.
I love that. I love that answer.
Well, I
William?
guess. All right. So, God, as a teenager, I took up golf at a young age, and by young I mean like freshman year of high school. So it would have been fun, probably for me to start like showing the progression through, because that's very popular nowadays. Between foreplay and the Bryan Bros and all those guys, I would have loved to have become that, known for that.
Yeah, Ross loves foreplay. Ross?
I would think so. Believe it or not, I used to play the piano and I used to play saxophone, and I was really good at it. And I got away from it after I got out of high school. And I always tell myself, if we ever get enough room, I'd get like a little baby grand piano or something. Be really almost.
Almost. He held off.
Really
saved it.
Hey, we're almost a ska band now. We've got a bass player, guitar player, keys, and
My
sax.
gosh.
Well, no, baritone, horn, and low brass before anything else.
I was actually talking about guitar here. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Hey,
That'd be
that's
cool.
over there.
Martine.
I want to know why. I've been friends with Ross for over a year, and this is the very first time I'm hearing that
It's
he
the
knew
first
how
time
to play
for all of
piano.
us.
It was like a year before we knew his last name was Kierlock and not
Searlock.
Yeah. We to be honest, I think it was more like a couple months. I'm still not set on his last name's pronunciation.
What's super funny is that might be the reason why I don't listen to words to songs a lot, because I'm usually just like listening to the music. But I don't.
Who are you?
I don't know.
What are you talking?
Interesting.
Who is this
I
person?
don't know. Full circle here.
Can you imagine seeing like a
Wow.
YouTube video of Ross being like, "Hi, welcome to Ross teaches you how to play instruments. I got my sax here. Gonna go through some progressions with you."
Yeah.
Need to
Couldn't
know about
see it.
my shirt. It's
Shout out to all my sponsors.
That'd be wild, right?
Martin, what about you?
Probably something in tech, similar to like Linus Tech Tips or Jay's 2 cents, something like that. Just building computers, troubleshooting stuff. I really, loved doing that when I was around, late teens, early 20s. I mean, I still do. But
thanks for all that help before.
Hey,
show.
Martin, we still have time for our idea of doing like Mystery Science Theater 3000, watching people do
true.
horrible computer builds and just riff them.
yeah.
Or
Every single
just watching Ross try to fix his computer. Any of them would work. So if I was answering the question literally, it would be something bowling related. I come from a big bowling family, and in high school I was the bowling guy. Like that's what everyone knew me for, is the only thing I'm decent at. And so I ran with it in high school. But if I was to do I discovered through my previous employer and just that kind of world that I could get into content creation, but Vine was my first love of social media. Not that I wasn't on MySpace and the rest of it, but Vine was brilliant. And I loved it because there was no like and subscribe for part 2 or, smash that follow button. It was, you've got 7 seconds. Make it creative now. Do it. Done. That's it. Did you do it? I don't know. And it forced people to be just amazing and put their you had to cut out all the fat and you had to do it. And I just think that I would have loved to have ran with that more and applied some comedic timing of just everyday life that we all go through and putting it together in those 7 seconds. Ross?
I have a question.
Yes.
It's for everyone.
Okay.
What's fine?
So in high school, so this is way off. No one knows what I'm going to ask. So
no, they don't. Nope. We have no idea.
This is what's Ross thinking.
Yeah.
Literally.
or is this early in the next bit?
So
here's the show. Here's Ross.
All right, so it goes to the bowling thing.
Okay.
So were you guys offered bowling like in high school, like for like a PE thing, or did you guys get taken off like off premise to go to a bowling alley or anything like that?
Through school?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Senior gym. If you took senior gym as an elective, I think they had a bowling part of the FIED class.
For us, and so I was like a small country place, we had like the rubber bowling ball.
Oh yeah, we had that in middle school.
We had that,
and like in the basketball in the gymnasium, we'd put up these plastic thing, and that's how we bowled. So like it's funny, but the in town it's hard to explain, but like I was country. The in town kids, they were taken to an actual bowling alley. So like it's funny because if you see like a grown person shooting like bowling, it's not shooting, right? It's bowling.
Shooting the ball.
It's bowling.
Exactly what they say.
If somebody's going straight with it, more than likely they learned how to bowl in the country. And then like if somebody's throwing a curve on it, it's a towny thing, I guess. But it's like that's what I was wondering. I didn't know if everyone else was privileged enough to like actually go to a bowling alley and bowl for like a high school event, or
we're learning so much about Ross.
Hey.
In this episode,
it's like birthday parties.
Comment below if you went off premise.
Yeah, comment below if you've ever gone bowling or if you.
I would also like to point out that my high school never offered bowling. Period. I never went to a school that offered bowling as an extracurricular. You
never had to use the attaboy. You got Black Widow there. That's nice.
None of this was planned. This is awesome.
I mean, I feel like I went to a school at a time when they didn't care about our safety. So like we had springboards, full gymnastic like gear that they let us just do stupid stuff on. Archery.
We had bowling with one of the other county schools. It was David Brearley and Kenilworth and Springfield had a bowling team together. They also had a swim team, but Brearley itself had wrestling, football, soccer, baseball. There was a golf team, competitive cheerleading.
Damn.
So there was a little bit of everything. We had indoor and outdoor track. So softball.
Yeah,
Mark, a little bit of everything.
A little surprised that you're.
So I didn't have half of what Will just mentioned.
Yeah,
but I did go to a smaller private school. So
I was a graduating class of 100 kids.
Mine was probably 35.
Mine was probably in the 100 for high school. My grade school was 30, like tops at some point.
Yeah.
Wow.
But okay.
And now we learned a little bit about everybody today.
Done.
So Josh, should we go there?
I don't know if Josh has.
Where?
I don't know if Josh's room
Can
is on
Josh
fire.
hear us?
I can hear
I
you.
don't know. Are you sure?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to finagle something upstairs. I was like, talk amongst yourselves. But I will come back to it and I'll show you guys. Yeah, you know what? Let's go there. In a new segment that we're calling "Should We Go There?" See how we come up with names for things?
I thought that was a question.
Great.
That's
oh, never mind.
I mean, it is a question.
Well, that's so good. So this is I did it once.
A ring.
Oh, you
Ah,
monster!
okay.
Wow.
So I got one sanctioned 300.
Best
I
I
got-
could ever roll was a 279.
I got my ring. It was on March 11th of 2011, and I
Dang it.
haven't gotten close
Wait.
since.
Wait, 31111, and today's 311.
Yep, it's the anniversary of. What are the odds of that?
How
Also, not planned.
14 years. It would have been funnier if it was 13 years ago today, because it's whatever. Never mind.
how did we not plan this? This is
It's
crazy.
just this is just the magic of the Degens, guys.
Magic of the DJ.
The magic of the Degens. So thanks so much to Jake Holland for asking us this question that could lead to Ross curious about bowling in high school, leading to me showing off the one time I accomplished something, and then having my wife be able to bring that down and show it off. Anyway,
Oh,
this
wait,
is our
did
new
she
segment.
Just, like go under the camera.
Julie
and,
just, like,
hand it to you?
She opened the door, chucked the ring at me, and left.
Oh, okay.
She's a pro. So anyway, yeah, this is our new segment called Should We Go There, where we question, should we go there? And then we end up going there. Today's topic on Should We Go There? Waffles. Let's start with the initial thought. They're delicious. Now for the
With
topic
chicken?
at hand, the reason why people call them waffles in this realm of what we deal with shirts and other things is because apparently on Facebook you can't say raffle, right? Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, I've heard them called Raz too.
Okay.
Well,
Um,
that's because it's akin to gambling, and gambling is against community guidelines. On
Sure.
Facebook.
So then they say waffle as like, that's okay. I mean, everyone knows what you're talking about. I don't know. It's just, I don't get it. It's dumb. Anyway, so there have been a lot of things in the shirt community that have been discussed because there are buy-sell trade groups of, hey, I'm getting out of the shirts, or maybe I downsized, or maybe I just need some cash and I'm going to sell this shirt. And now there's this new thing that's really taken off called waffles, raffles, where people are selling spots, certain amount of spots for your chance to win the shirt. And then there's like a program, right, or a website of some sort where you plug in everyone's name, and then it has a computer that spins a little wheel, and then it announces the winner, and they'll like post that video live so that people know they're not cheating, and then that's how they decide. The big topic that we're discussing about them is because some people are now saying, why are these things so popular? Are they good for selling shirts? Are they good for the community in general? Thoughts about waffles, not the food. Who wants to start?
I can go again.
Wow. We got a lot
Yeah.
of
So, I mean, you start to see this when any kind of collector thing, bourbon, shoes, hats, starts to get traction in a big following. The waffles just kind of are an evolution. But from an economic standpoint, they're horrible because the market never gets a chance to actually correct itself and actually create a value reward system for the shirt. So basically, somebody, it never hurts the first time you get a shirt, like some of the stuff from Seattle. Always start your price high, because you know what, if you're going to sell and
Make
why
that
not
money.
sell high? Yeah,
Make the money, honey.
Buy low, sell high. And so, but here's what happens in a normal economic situation. I pick a number and I start up, and maybe it's a high number. It doesn't sell. The market's now telling me that is overvalued. I start knocking the price down until it sells, and I find that sweet spot, or the market finds the sweet spot, and that's kind of now the value prop for that item. When you go to the waffle, nobody really speaks with their money or their vote to self-correct the market, because to them, to any one individual, it's whatever the cost of the slot is. So if a slot's $10, $25, they're in it for $25. And if they get a shirt that's perceived at, 100, 1,000, whatever the value is, they're only in $25. So they're not going to like withhold, because in some cases these slots are low enough cost where people have this kind of mindset. Oh, it's $10. I burned $10. But when you have hundreds of waffles going on at the same time,
So many waffles.
you're just like burning through the $10 over and over again, and you've got nothing.
Nothing to show for it.
And so,
So-
I feel like they're very destructive.
So
To
before you go, Will, I just want to play devil's advocate, because for the most part, I will say I 100% agree with you, Dan. But to play devil's advocate, the arguments I've seen pro waffle, which God, waffle's so bad.
Now I do too.
I'm
is-
so hungry.
But
right
pancakes are better. I'll
So
fight
hungry.
people. Yeah.
now.
Well,
There's syrup.
of course, there's syrup.
Okay.
Is that the way to correct that is to then not participate in the waffle,
Correct.
right? It's if you don't like where the price is set, then don't participate, and then they have to lower it, or that's the market correction, where as long as people, which I do understand that argument, because it's the same thing for buying shirts. A lot of people like to complain about the value that someone sets on buy sell trade for, I'm selling the shirt, I'm selling my Kraken for $2,000, and people go, oh my God, how could you, $2,000? But then someone buys it, and
Mhm.
someone pays that because they want the shirt.
Well, no.
Then it doesn't matter what
some-
you thought
no,
or
no,
what you want.
No, someone
sold the
buys
shirt.
the shirt. No, but someone buys the shirt. You don't know for a fact that the shirt actually was bought for $2,000. You're taking everybody's word for it. It's a perceived value, and it's a whole like fake facade 90% of the
100%.
time.
But Will, it doesn't matter, because whether that is what they got or not, then if someone else puts their shirt up for that amount, either someone's going to buy it or someone won't. So
Or someone will say, "Hey, I don't want to do this," in a DM and be like, "I'll offer you X amount for it," and then
Right.
it's agreed, and then it's just like, "Hey, the shirt sold." You're not telling everybody what you actually sold the shirt for.
look, I could put up a Ron Swanson shirt of greatness that goes on BST for $35 to $40. I could put that up for $500. I could do it. It's not against the rules to say that I'm going to
Right.
sell this shirt for $500. If
Right.
someone pays me $500 for that shirt, it's not my fault that someone did it. It's very unlikely. So then I would have no choice but to then either keep the shirt or lower the price, depending on if I wanted to
Right.
sell the shirt. It's the same thing with the waffles. There's clearly enough people that are pro waffle that are making these things still happen.
So now
Well,
you're
no.
getting into a new mathematical thing. So just take Roosevelt's, for example. There's 39,000 people in insiders.
I think they're close to 40. Yeah.
If you're only putting 25 slots, 100 slots, mathematically, if the people who would normally go back out, are you going to get 39,000 people to in unity back out? That small number is still going to get filled. Now, if the
Right.
community was only 1,000 deep,
you
that
could probably be a little
you
bit
could
more
manipulate
standing.
it and drop, the waffle. But they also have perks. Like, take for example, you're raising money for a charity, or something like the Kraken you brought up, $2,000. That's not obtainable for a significant amount of the fans of the brand.
Mhm.
But you want to give those people a chance. Now somebody has a chance at 25.
Sure.
Granted, people manipulate the waffle and buy up all the slots, or all those things are possible. But in theory, that person does stand a chance at getting, and it is a gamble because it's gambling. But somebody could get a Kraken
For $100.
within their budget,
Right.
and
Or
enjoy
less.
it. But I think more often than not, we see the people swoop in and buy crap tons of things, and statistically, I mean,
And then when they don't win it and they're out $1,000 in spots, they're out $1,000 and have nothing to show for it.
Now, but I have to say that is not unlike any other type of gambling. Like,
No.
you got to
It's
understand,
gambling.
right? You got to understand what you're getting yourself into. I don't think there's anything wrong with people that are selling something they own and trying to get the most money that they can for it. I think that the only downside to waffles truly is that, especially in a community, which is what this is, which is what this shirt nerd is, if it's creating animosity with people because of the amount of money that is being gambled and creating an environment of hostility, that isn't great. I think the idea of people throwing $25 towards getting some. That's no different than going to an event and buying a raffle ticket. You're just doing something. But if it's I spent $1,000 that I don't have because I really want this shirt, I feel bad. That's still on you, but I don't think it's good for the community that we're putting people in that situation.
Well, it's also the fact that you start doing this with these waffles and perceived values then within the BST group are, oh, well, this shirt sold for X amount of money, so this shirt is worth that. When it's not.
But that's still
Because it's
but
all
that's still
perceived
only,
value.
Yeah, but that's still only judged on what someone will pay. That's why I said, like, regardless of what happens in waffles, I can list a shirt for whatever the hell I want. It's just more than
Right.
likely that shirt's
No,
sitting
but-
on my shelf for a while. No one's going to
No,
pay
but
me
then
that amount for it.
No, but it's your so like I'm gonna just and it's like there were shirts from this past weekend that were waffled off
Yep.
at a value substantially higher than what a good portion of the community perceived them to be. But the downside is it's, oh, well, I don't see it as being a shirt worth that much. I just saw it as a spot worth X amount of money. And I'm like, well, yeah, but you're promoting a forced value on a shirt that doesn't hold that value.
Sure.
Like you're trying to force a high demand shirt on a shirt that was necessarily in high demand.
Martin, what are your
But I
thoughts
mean,
on this?
go ahead.
I'm curious. I haven't heard from you or Ross on this. I want to hear.
I
You
mean,
guys' thoughts.
I've actually done waffles for Lego sets in the past. I've
Okay.
participated in them. I've held my own waffles for them, mostly for sets that were like pre-release. So I mean, I definitely I can see it from both sides. I mean, you know, if it's something that the community at large is okay with, you know, fine. If it becomes destructive, you know, and you have people, you know, blaming each other or going at each other, then you know that it needs to end.
I agree.
But if
So
it
are-
needs to end, like who's liable in this case? Because
Well,
the
that's the thing.
brand
Waffles are
doesn't
not
want it to hurt the
sponsored
brand.
by Roosevelt's. They're not
Correct,
part
but
of the insider group.
but in a case, you know, there's brand protection where even if it's pick a random person off the street, that brand is being brought into the spotlight that, you know, I'm sure Nike, I'm sure like these other brands do things to shut down things on the internet in an effort to protect the reputation of their brand
Man, that's
when
gotta
it's
be hard
being
to do, though.
misrepresented. Well, it's very hard. It's very expensive. I know my company does it quite
Yeah.
a bit. And it's part of doing business, but as part of that, because at what point you've got things where, you know, like Martin, you were starting to go, it could disrupt the community. And then what happens when the community starts to dissolve because it's created a culture of, you know, price fixing and things. Like if this was the stock market, there's laws, there's agencies that try and protect consumer rights. Not saying that it's at that scale, you know, we're not talking like a Toyota or something that is more of like a utility to the average person that is part of, you know, living, but it's a slippery slope because at some point, if everybody plays nice together, these are beautiful things.
Yeah. Well, as always, especially when we're talking about important and somewhat serious topics, we let Ross have the final word. Ross?
Yeah, so waffles.
That was more than one word, dude.
I don't know. It's a form of gambling. Gambling is never a good thing, and it's against community guidelines. So technically, it's not supposed to be happening anyways. Technically, so
Sure.
I don't know. I'm technically not supposed to speed on the road. Technically, so
Right.
I don't know. It's I mean, I'm very biased because I did win a waffle recently, so.
And we all hate you and are mad at you for it.
And I mean, I've participated in waffles. I've lost all of them.
I have not, because Albrecht is German for unlucky. So I stay away from anything of chance.
So I don't know.
I either got to pay for it or I don't get it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Ross, for that. That was a great final word.
Glad
that
to be
we
here.
Appreciate from that. And that was our segment. Should we go there? We definitely went there. And now we're also very hungry. And we are way over time. So we appreciate anyone that that stayed with us. One final thing I wanted to just say on the way out the door is that in June, at the end of June, I am hosting a meetup here in Milwaukee. The good land.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to be the second annual Milwaukee meetup. And I would love to have you guys be here. It's going to be June 26th through the 29th. And Summerfest, Brewers, baseball, tiki bars, all the fun that Milwaukee has to offer. And when it's not freezing, it's going to be great. Yep, squeaky curds are going to be here. And if you aren't already, if you're just learning about this and you're an insider, please go and search for the second annual Milwaukee meetup and click maybe going whatever so that you can get information, because the hotel block is going to be listed soon, and there are limited rooms at that block price. So I want to make sure that anyone that's planning on going has a fair shot to get those. All right, this has been fun. Got a little serious there for a minute, huh? Wow, we took that to a place. I'm interested to see how everyone reacts to it. And everyone, I mean, mostly, you know.
Are we talking about the bowling,
Robert? What's
the
that?
bowling thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about bowling.
We're cutting that whole last segment.
Yeah, that last in post. We'll do that.
It's going to be a hard transition. Milwaukee.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a too long didn't watch recap, we talked about bowling. I bowled a 300 once, and that was it. That was pretty much the whole thing. And shout out to Jake Holland. We love you. All right. Thanks, everyone, for watching this episode of the Dapper Degens. Make sure to put your questions for us in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and all that other stuff that exists nowadays in social media. We appreciate you, and tune in next time, because we are not done yet.